You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
It's 8 o'clock. Breakfast is being served at Ellen's downtown.
I'm Carla Leal, and this is your Spectrum News in 90. ERCOT has issued a weather watch for Sunday and Monday. The forecast for even higher temps and anticipated prompted their decision. Grid conditions are expected to be normal. Governor Abbott will be in North Texas Monday for a signing ceremony. He'll ceremoniously sign the Save Women's Sports Act at the Texas Women Hall of Fame in Denton. The new law prohibits biological men from competing against women in college sports. And as gas prices in Texas continue to rise, the statewide average is at $3.49 a gallon. AAA says it jumped again as more expensive crude oil makes its way onto the market. The most expensive gas in Texas is nearly $4.
We'll continue to soar with the temperatures into your Sunday. 106, Monday down just a little bit because we do have that stray chance of rain. A cold front into the region. Not going to cool too much, but at least rain into your Tuesday. 106. Keeping it hot, I'll tell you how long coming up.
Hello, and thank you for joining us here on Spectrum News 1. I'm Todd Boatwright. It is once again another hot weekend here in Texas as this brutal heat wave continues. Many parts of the state are also experiencing severe drought. In response, Governor Abbott has once again renewed the drought disaster declaration for multiple Texas counties. According to the National Integrated Drought Information System, nearly 15 million Texans are living under drought conditions. And on top of the drought, the city of Blanco near San Antonio has been struggling to maintain its water supply. Our Blessing Iwuchukwu has more on that.
It was a man-made issue. That's what the mayor of Blanco is blaming on what caused the water crisis his city experienced for weeks.
And that is the city hall.
Mike Arnold is the new leader of Blanco.
What a time to be mayor.
Never a dull moment, that's for sure.
Just a little over a month had passed since he was elected to lead this rural city located in the heart of the Texas Hill Country, and he already had a major crisis on his hands.
I got a call first thing in the morning that our water tank was down to zero, that we weren't getting any water, that we had 24 hours left in our system, and if we didn't get more water flowing, we'd run dry within a day.
This led to severe water restrictions for the small town of less than 2,000 people.
Everything's dying. The only thing we can really do is make sure the animals have a little bit of water.
At one point, community was water rationing.
Our biggest employer, Real Ale, #3 brewery in the state, independent brewery in the state of Texas, had to shut down. They employ 50 families that get their money from those paychecks. The cement plant missed a day of production. The car wash was shut down over the weekend. The washateer was shut down over the weekend.
He says the city-year-old water treatment plant is down for upgrades. He says even if it was up and running, the city still couldn't pull much water out of the river.
Looks about 2.5 feet down right now. It's been a while since it was up and flowing like it should.
That's why Blanco is relying on its backup water supply, which comes out of Canyon Lake. The city owns water rights there.
And then we pay a company to process it and send it to us.
That business is called the Texas Water Company. And the sending part is what the mayor says the company wasn't doing. Originally, he thought the city was in a water dilemma due to the low lake and river levels and recent rains barely making an impact. He now says this issue wasn't an act of God, but man.
Somebody at the company at some level, for some reason, decided to let the water keep flowing to Bulverde, where they're watering their lawns and washing cars and not enforcing restrictions at the expense of letting Blanco's tank water table. And we're enforcing the restrictions.
That tank, it's being supplied with water, but because of the high demand of water, low enough to where the city of Blanco's pumps couldn't turn on. So I just want to make sure that everybody's clear. It's not like we made a decision not to provide them water.
It's a classic case of he said, they said.
Our legal counsel advises us not only was their cutting our water supply a violation of our memorandum of understanding, a written agreement with them, but I'm told that it's very likely a violation of the law as well.
We dispute those statements.
Lawyers for the city and the company plan to settle this water fight through mediation, hoping to come to an amicable resolution.
The bottom line is there's plenty of water for our needs.
One thing is for sure, Mayor Mike is grateful. The crisis is over, for now.
While there were already some economic hardships for the city of Blanco, the drought has not been helping. Mayor Arnold says 5 houses went on sale that same week. He says they'll have the Commission on Environmental Quality help in their negotiations with the Texas Water Company. A lot of Texans take a trip to the Hill Country on weekends, and one thing they'll notice this time around is how the drought is affecting the vineyards. Amber Hughes shows us what happens when temperatures hit triple digits.
These grapes will eventually become Texas wine, but the intense sun is forcing winemakers to harvest early. It's not too hot, is it?
No, it's perfect. Perfect day for picking grapes.
There's plenty of grapes ready to be hand-picked at Bending Branch Winery.
Oh, they're looking great.
Dr. Bob Young practiced family medicine for 35 years, but at age 60, he transitioned into winemaking with his family in Comfort, Texas.
I'd always loved wine, particularly red wines. It's always really fun picking the grapes, and it's a lot of camaraderie and friends and family.
That fun in the sun comes at a cost. Doctors grow faster, so they're having to harvest the grapes weeks earlier.
If we waited another week or 10 days, these would be shriveled and dried out.
Temperatures in Texas are exceeding 100 degrees weekly, causing some of the grapes to shrivel, which isn't good for wine production.
The original plan was to make a red wine from this one, but when the intense heat came, we changed plans.
At Bending Branch, the grapevines are positioned higher to create more shade. But Dr. Bob says intense heat causes grapes to lose flavor and acidity.
They're starting to just a touch of drying a little bit. So instead of letting them dry more in this intense heat, we're going to pick them and we're going to make a sparkling rosé.
Texas is the 5th largest wine producer in the country, contributing $20 billion to the state's economy annually. In 2022, more than 2 million tourists ate. And after 4 hours of picking nearly 2 tons of grapes, everyone toasts to the winery's biggest harvest.
Here's to the best team in the Hill Country.
Dr. Bob says the heat is the biggest factor affecting growth and quality of grapes. But as the grapes are sorted and pressed, he's more concerned about how the Texas heat could impact his staff.
So many people that are getting injured and dying from heat stress. Climate change is happening all around us, so you got to accommodate to Mother Nature.
And coming up, it is the home of the Dallas Cowboys, Texas Rangers, and more. We'll see how the city of Arlington is using sports to bring in some big business. And later, a recent drop in migrant crossings there at the southern border may not last much longer. We'll explain why ahead on Spectrum News.
Stay connected to Spectrum News 1 with the Spectrum News app. Stream your trusted team live on the go or from home. And stay updated on the local news and weather forecasts that matter to you. Spectrum News, your community connection. Weather can be beautiful and at times powerful. Our weather experts update you with the information.
Forward in reliable service issues before they become a problem. If you're affected, we'll contact you and help schedule a free service appointment with one of our expert technicians. The proactive maintenance of our network is one of the many reasons Spectrum delivers the most reliable internet speeds in the nation. Spectrum, keeping you connected.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Texas holds a very special place in both my heart and my family's heart as well. My dad started in the news business in 1955, so my dad was my idol. Spent so much time in that world, I knew I just had to be a part of it. My life's purpose has been about informing, educating, and most importantly, connecting with people. It has been my passion to help people and make a difference in people's lives. I'm Brett Shipp, anchor, Spectrum News 1.
It is watermelon season, and our wonderful friends at the Dallas Zoo enjoying every little bite. So go ahead and put that into your weekend. Why not? You'll be happy like these guys. Let's go ahead and look at the headlines, and we are on our highest category when it comes to the heat and feeling it. So please limit the situation. It really doesn't get any worse as we feel the heat. I know you've witnessed it, and I'm sorry I don't have better news. Here's a look at the Speedway. You can see high pressure still in control on our weather stem camera. And let's get to the highs real quick. I'll try to go briefly and hit on them. 106, 107 as we take it up to the north, a little bit out towards Weatherford, maybe 109, a hair cooler as we take it to the east. Here's a look at relative humidity. It is very dry across the region. So with that, some gusty winds, watch that fire threat. Here is a look. Precipitation. Are we going to get it this week? We are going to have that front. Sunday into your Monday starts to head on in. It's going to kind of skirt us. We're looking at about a 10 to 20% chance. And I was looking at all the models. And long term, we're talking about 10 to even 12, 14 days out. We're starting to get headed in. If we zoom out a little bit, the plane's starting to cool down. Stronger fronts starting to be the trend. So do I have hope? Yes, I do. It's just going to take a little bit. So let's get through this week together. Bear with me. Here's a look at the forecast. 106 for Tuesday, Wednesday 107, keeping it real hot, maybe a degree or two cooler into the weekend.
Well, Texas homeowners could be in line for some major property tax relief after Governor Abbott signed an $18 billion cut. Veronica Barrigo shows us what that means for homeowners and what comes next.
All right, welcome to our house. Thanks for coming. Come on in.
Gilly Mendoza is a homeowner in San Antonio and a real estate professional.
We bought this house about 2 years ago in the middle of COVID. It's a house that had been on. He got a hold of it and pretty much completely remodeled it.
Today it's his family's homestead and a place where his kids will grow.
Oh!
But the booming housing market and quick rise in home values have pushed his property tax bill to nearly $15,000 per year, and that's with current exemptions.
My homestead, the appraised value actually increased by 20% from 2022 to 2023.
According to the Community Impact newspaper, some homes in Central Texas are seeing an increase of nearly 30% in property value over the last year, hitting homeowners hard and even affecting prospective buyers.
So if you have a very high tax value, they have to factor that into your monthly payment. That's where you have many homeowners get priced out and are not able to afford their current mortgage payment.
But relief is finally here. Texas state leaders signing off on an $18 billion property owners and businesses. Human Services reporter Karen Brooks Harper with the Texas Tribune breaks it down.
The marquee item of the property tax cuts is an expansion of the homestead exemption from $40,000 to $100,000. So if your appraisal value is $350,000, you'll only be taxed on $250,000. You have a $40,000 exemption right now. This bill moves that to $100,000. It's a significant increase in your exemptions.
Homeowners with multiple properties will also catch a tax break. Now, a new pilot program is placing a 20% appraisal cap on non-homestead properties valued under $5 million.
There's a problem with a lot of people that own second homes or that own rental properties, duplexes, apartments, things like that. You know, their property taxes were going up, or their property values were going up so high that they couldn't keep up with the taxes, and they were passing along a lot of those costs.
Small business owners also stand to
voters in November.
And meanwhile, North Texas is experiencing some rapid growth right now. That includes the city of Arlington, which has become a major sports hub. Michael Lozano shows how local businesses are cashing in.
The city of Arlington is rapidly growing, and that's thanks in part to the sports that it offers here. And now the MLB All-Star Game will be coming to Arlington next year. It's one of many big events that's going to continue to bring growth to many businesses in Arlington.
Prince Lebanese Grill is an Arlington staple that's seen plenty of national attention.
We've been in Arlington since 1989, so 34 years, almost 35 years.
With Aziz Kopti carrying on his father's legacy.
A ton of local businesses, doctors, dentists, lawyers, all having lunch right now, so we're a community.
But it's also a business that's reaped the rewards of being down the street from Globe Life Field, Choctaw Stadium, and AT&T Stadium. These stadiums that are helping Arlington attract major events.
Seager is in. Low goes to third.
The most recent being next year's MLB All-Star Game. And of course, hosting World Cup games in 2026.
We're always looking at opportunities to host things here and figure out what's the next great thing. You can't get much bigger than the World Cup.
Arlington Mayor Jim Ross says these will further highlight the city, meaning more money, more infrastructure, and more residents.
You can live, work, eat, and play all here in Arlington.
Arlington's seen an 8% increase in its population from 2010 to 2022, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Its growth Aziz and his family are working to keep up with on a daily basis.
Being rooted into the community, that's kind of what our values are, and so we'll just continue to grow with all the opportunities we have.
But one they're more than happy.
Meanwhile, if you're looking for a new job, it could be getting tougher. Right now, job openings in the U.S. are at their lowest level in more than 2 years. According to new data from the Labor Department, the number of available jobs in June fell to a little over 9.5 million. That's actually the lowest number since April of 2021. And up next, meet a Texas man who wears many masks. You could call him the king of costumes. We'll show you how each of his outfits actually helps others.
Here is your check across the state. Lots of hundreds as we go throughout your Sunday. Only dodging it along the coastal bend, but it'll feel as high as 110 there. So nobody really escaping it as we go into your Monday. Slight chance of rain to the north. We have a front coming in, not a big influence on the forward.
$16 teams, 15 grand. One tournament to decide who knows the most about separating news fact from news fiction. 1, 2, 3, that is correct, Jacob. The Spectrum News Challenge Tournament.
That sounds really awesome, man.
If you think you know the news, then it's time to take the challenge. Spectrum News Challenge, Wednesday nights at 8:30. Available on all your favorite devices.
When you buy Spectrum Mobile for just $29.99 a month, you get a second line for free. So get one line for yourself and a free line for your devoted friend. Or you can get one line for yourself and one line for your kid and another for business. I do a lot of business. Get one line of unlimited for $29.99 and get a second line free for 12 months. Call, click, or visit a Spectrum store today.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
We have one mission, and that is to serve our community.
We have reporters on the ground sharing what's happening within their communities.
It's my responsibility to know the issues here in Texas, but also, more importantly, to know who it affects.
We want to make sure that you, in weather and entertainment, you're going to get your local news. You're going to get storytelling about your local community. Your evening on Spectrum News 1. Weeknights starting at 5 p.m. Central.
Schools across the state are working to increase teacher pay, and many are making cuts in other departments to get it done. Now, according to the Houston Chronicle, employees and choosing not to buy new school buses. Well, Governor Abbott said he would call a special session to reconsider school funding, but many district officials say they can't wait because of a looming worker shortage. Well, many school districts are also struggling with enrollment. Jose Arredondo shows us how one South Texas district is going the extra mile to make sure kids are registered.
So 102 is our first one?
Diane Fernandez isn't block walking on behalf of a political She's not selling anything either.
Good, good. We're here from San Antonio ISD. We're here to help register for the upcoming school year. We have backpacks and popsicles for the kiddos.
For the second year in a row, San Antonio ISD is block walking, hoping to find and encourage students to register at some of the district schools.
And then go to 302. ¿Qué es el otro? So if they needed support doing it by phone, we called them by phone, but we figured we'd come to families' homes and meet them.
By hopping on the same school buses that transport their students. You see, San Antonio ISD is one of the city's oldest school districts where 88% of its students are considered economically disadvantaged. Technology, or lack of, is one of the reasons why some never sign up for school.
So we look at the zip codes, we look at the number of students who haven't registered by zip code, and we determine from that point forward how many.
Whether it be residential neighborhoods or apartment complexes, for Diane, making this step is critical not only for students, but the district. SAISD is considered closing multiple schools down due to low enrollment.
And don't forget, we have plenty of cold water if y'all need to come back for a drink of cold water.
Dr. Jennifer Herrera says competing charter schools are just one of the reasons for the decline.
To consider birth rates, we have to consider mortality rate, we have to consider whether school districts, not just San Antonio ISD, but some of the other area districts, are they landlocked? Do they have room for growth?
One of these envelopes. In here is the academic calendar as well as how to register their child.
In 7 days of block walking, they were able to get 90 students registered for school. But Diane says they've done more than that.
I think it's important for our families to be able to see the staff at SAISD, and it's also important for the staff to see where our families live at. It's really important for us to build community.
It's that relationship they hope will bring enrollment up so tough decisions won't have to be made this upcoming school year.
It's over 100-degree weather, but you know what? For our students, it's worth it, most definitely.
Wherever there is a child in need, the superheroes are never far away. Heroes of Texas visits kids in the hospital and brings joy to people in all sorts of ways. Today, meet the man behind his many masks.
You might not know the movie. This proton pack belongs to Greg Burrow. He took a hint from Hollywood when he put it together.
It's from Ghostbusters. Yeah, it is not 100% screen accurate. I'm modifying it to more of a Ghostbuster 1 pack. Who you gonna call?
The pack is just one of Greg's pop culture creations. Some of his stuff is on display where he works at Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy. And Greg is into it all, everything from comics to cosplay.
Pop culture. I think I'm into pop culture. I love a lot of things that are Superhero related, I love a lot of, like, you know, as we were talking about, Ghostbusters, Star Wars, Star Trek.
And there's nothing Greg can't make or modify. Take this Stormtrooper headpiece.
See my fingers? I do. Okay, that's your eye health.
Or if you
Robin, get ready. We've got to go to Spectrum News.
Greg is part of the group Heroes of Texas. They put on costumes to bring joy to those who need a superhero. A lot of their visits are to kids in the hospital where a mask and a pair of Batman boots means so much.
There's been times I've been called in when a child is on their deathbed. Those are really hard. Those are really, really hard. And, you know, you have to be up while you're in there, you know, and so you usually break down when you leave.
But it's that bit of joy Greg leaves behind that makes every visit worth it. He makes sure each costume is accurate to a T. Some are pretty expensive, but it's what Greg gets in return that's priceless.
And taking a child out of that situation just for a few moments, you know what I'm saying, and let them be a kid again just for a few moments is a wonderful and beautiful thing.
And still ahead, the FDA has approved a new drug that could be a game changer for Alzheimer's patients. We got the details and more after the break.
A thriving community is an informed community, and being able to play a role in bringing people the news is something that I take very seriously. There's just so many things to love about the state of Texas. Southern hospitality, great food. I love that there are so many different cultures celebrated. I want people to turn us on in the morning and feel like they've got the information they need to go out and conquer their day. I'm Alex Stockwell, anchor for Spectrum News 1.
Spectrum Mobile is giving you one free mobile line when you buy one unlimited line for $29.99.
So I can get two lines for the price of one? That's right, for just $29.99.
It's the best deal in mobile.
But is the service reliable?
Absolutely. Spectrum Mobile is super reliable, coast to coast. Get one line for $29.99 and a second line.
And get a second unlimited line free for 12 months. Call 1-844-882-2999.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are connected, engaged, from the moment we rise. We move. We adjust. We learn. Stay informed throughout your day with the Spectrum News app, exclusively for Spectrum customers.
Weather on the Ones, every 10 minutes. Also available on the Spectrum News app.
Hello, Dallas-Fort Worth. Here's your Spectrum News in 90. Reliant Energy is helping families as students head back to school. On Saturday, they provided school supply kits to hundreds of students at Back to School, this Back to School event at the West Dallas Multipurpose Center. This included backpacks and some laptops to families. This triple-digit temperatures are taking a toll on our water supply. According to the National Integrated Drought Information System, more than 15.5 million Texans are living under drought conditions. The latest of the state is under some level of drought, and the Mega Millions jackpot is now up to more than $1.5 billion. No one picked all 6 numbers in Friday night's drawing, but someone in Texas had $1 million ticket.
Here's a look at your Sunday, warming up very quick into the day. A little breezy out of the south-southwest. At 4 p.m. a 106, holding it until about 6 p.m. and still very warm even as we look into the evening. So we'll tell you how long we stay well above average coming up.
More National Guard troops are headed to the border. 50 men and women from Oklahoma will be manning security checks in any immigration law enforcement. Oklahoma's governor now joins more than a dozen Republican governors in sending troops to our border. Now, this comes as Texas braces for another possible influx of migrants, despite crossings falling to pre-pandemic levels. Adolfo Muniz is in Brownsville with a look at the difference from before and after the lifting of Title 42.
These are images of Brownsville taken in May. There were migrants everywhere. Lines of migrants would come almost every hour. And for nearby residents like Ramon Medina, it was starting to be a big problem.
No podías entrar a aquella zona porque pues estaba lleno. No podías entrar a la estación de autobuses si vas a hacer algo, si uno que va a hacer algo normal.
And these are images taken today from the same area around the bus station. It's mostly empty. Andrea Rodnick with Team Brownsville says the difference is measurable. Migrants a day. Then Title 42 ended.
As soon as Title 42 dropped, our numbers dropped dramatically. Over the past now 2 months, we have been averaging between 100 and 200 people a day.
At that time, the large number of migrants started creating another problems with nearby residents. Not only were you finding migrants sleeping in the streets, but also migrants were wandering off into the neighborhoods, says Fermin. They would knock on doors, and this sometimes would lead to tensions.
You know, sometimes they ask you for money. Yeah? If you got money, $1 or $2 for the little kids, you know.
Pusieron agresividad en querer pedir, ¿verdad? Pues, ayúdame, que ayúdame.
But now, things could change again. The administration credits this reduction with a new and restrictive asylum rule that demands that now this new asylum rule was blocked in court, making it in theory easier for migrants to cross the border without being sent back. Andrea Rodnick says the conclusion is inevitable. There might be another big increase in border crossings.
The reasons that drive people out of their home countries have not changed. People feel that they must leave their home countries for very specific reasons that really have nothing to do with whatever laws we have in the United States.
The impact might not be immediate, she says, but there will be one. There are still about 8,000 migrants in Matamoros. All they can do is be ready.
The FDA has approved a new groundbreaking drug for years.
Gail Youngdale is no stranger to Alzheimer's disease.
My mother died with Alzheimer's, and it wasn't too long after that my children started saying, "Mother, you're doing the same thing that grandmother did."
Youngdale's in the early stage of Alzheimer's, but it doesn't stop her from enjoying the view of the flowers outside of her home on a nice day.
We had a sweet potato that we put in our garden.
They remind her of her past memories she still cherishes, in part to Lekimki, a recently FDA-approved drug which has some in her living community believing she no longer has the disease.
And they said, "Do you have Alzheimer's? You don't have Alzheimer's. You don't sound like you have Alzheimer's." And I said, "With the study drug, I'm doing well."
Young of Lekimki. Since starting the infusion 2 years ago, she has felt better as time passes. Dr. Sid O'Brien, who is an executive director in Alzheimer's research at UNT, says it's because the drug slows down the effects of the deadly disease.
Some of these newer drugs remove the plaques so low that you can't even see the plaques anymore on a brain scan. And so that's why it's called a disease-modifying therapy, because it actually attacks one of the core fundamental biologies of the disease itself.
Although the drug isn't a cure for the disease, Dr. O'Brien believes it's a breakthrough everyone has been waiting for and can lead to stronger and more concise research.
It's also a signal to other people doing drug trials and developing drugs that this pathway does actually seem to benefit patients.
Benefits young Dale are now becoming clear again.
It's a wonderful thing, and one of these days I will start needlepoint again, maybe.
A journey of hope her daughter is watching firsthand.
To watch her go through this program and come out of that fog on the other side is amazing.
We wish her the best. According to new data from the Alzheimer's Association, Laredo and El Paso are tied for #1 in Texas and 9th in the country for residents with Alzheimer's. It found the disease is affecting about 15% of the senior population in those cities. Well, coming up, the state's pecan crop is seeing some hard times in this heat wave. We'll see how Texas farmers are adjusting next. And the high heat is also leaving those without homes even more vulnerable. But one North Texas organization is stepping in here.
Hey everybody, I'm Carla Leal. It's that time of year again. Parents and students alike are gearing up for back to school season. On the next In Focus Texas, we'll hear from lawmakers and organizations dedicated to ensuring a safe and fun school year. You don't want to miss it, so join us Sunday or set your DVR for all the details. I'll see you then.
I'm making a difference. I get to go to work every day and communicate with fellow Texans who understand that quality of life matters and the choices we make matter. And if they can trust me to share important information with them, then I'm a happy camper.
I'm Dr. Nicole Cross, anchor for Spectrum News 1.
From coast to coast, you've seen us around. We live and work in the communities we serve. Our commitment runs deep. We're invested here, creating good jobs and supporting small businesses, many of which we're proud to call customers. You count on us to keep you connected to what matters most. And we're committed to delivering you the best internet, TV, and mobile service. We're Spectrum, connecting the places we all call home.
Now anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
Weather can be beautiful, inconvenient, and at times powerful, and it affects everything we do. At Spectrum News 1, our weather experts update you with the information and the context you need so you can better plan your day. And we do it every 10 minutes. We're the calm in the storm, Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News 1. And get your weather anytime on the Spectrum News app.
It is watermelon season, and our wonderful friends at the Dallas Zoo enjoying every little bite. So Go ahead and put that into your weekend. Why not? You'll be happy like these guys. Let's go ahead and look at the headlines, and we are on our highest category when it comes to the heat and feeling it. So please limit your time outdoors because we have a critical situation. It really doesn't get any worse as we feel the heat. I know you've witnessed it, and I'm sorry I don't have better news. Here's a look at the Speedway. You can see high pressure still in control on our weather stem camera. And let's get to the highs real quick. I'll try to go briefly and hit on them. 106, 107 as we take it up to the towards Weatherford, maybe 109, a hair cooler as we take it to the east. Here's a look at relative humidity. It is very dry across the region. So with that, some gusty winds. Watch that fire threat. Here is a look. Precipitation. Are we going to get it this week? We are going to have that front. Sunday into your Monday starts to head on in. It's going to kind of skirt us. We're looking at about a 10 to 20% chance. And I was looking at all the models. And long term, we're talking about 10 to even 12, 14 days out. We're starting to get indicators that more fronts are headed in. If we zoom out a little bit, the plain's starting to cool down. Stronger fronts starting to be the trend. So do I have hope? Yes, I do. It's just going to take a little bit. So let's get through this week together. Bear with me. Here's a look at the forecast. 106 for Tuesday, Wednesday 107, keeping it real hot, maybe a degree or two cooler.
This record-breaking heat wave is affecting everything in our state, including the pecan crop. Now, despite this, our Emily Pound spoke with one farmer who says he's still feeling optimistic about this year's haul.
A scorching July day in Texas. Pecan grower Mike Sage is gearing up for their upcoming U-Picket season with high hopes. Sage's sunburnt landscape and well-loved shop mirrored the resilience that he carried in his heart.
These are 5-pound bags, and they hold about 5 pounds of pecans. We sell a lot of those.
Purchasing the land in 1995, keeping the previous owner's orchard in business. For years, they have been blessed with abundant pecan productions for countless customers.
Last year, we probably suffered almost 100% damage.
Sage was not alone. Last year, percent less in pecan production. The same year, Texas alone decreased a quarter of its production. Sage says the reason, extreme heat and unwanted critters.
This is where the worm goes into the nut and kills the nut. When the drought starts kicking in, that's when we see, that's when the trees basically get damaged. You know, they don't do well. They're starving for water.
Some even hanging by a limb and shot down safely. They're the casualties of last year's damage. Instead of keeping his chin low, he cleans up and moves forward. Despite devastation, there is a glimmer of hope. The front orchard, healthy, lush, and green.
They have a good tone, green tone all around them.
Cautiously optimistic about the outlook for the 2023 season.
As long as we'll have it.
With the pecan season's fate remaining uncertain, there is one thing clear. Farmer Sage is determined to bring the best paper shell for his legacy and the pecan future of Texas.
Well, in Fort Worth, a food pantry there is doing all they can to help keep unhoused Texans fed as those temperatures spike. As our Lupe Zapata shows us, they're also looking out for their four-legged friends.
You hot and tired, huh? You want some more water? She's stuck by me, and we've been through a lot, staying outside through the heat and the freezes, and I've lost so much in my life, you know. She's given me so much back.
It's more than 100 degrees outside, but Trish and her best friend Shadow have found a shady place to enjoy lunch.
Bologna and cheese, I'm cool with it.
At 48 years old, Trish has experienced
went through homelessness and dogs with homeless people. That it means a lot, believe me, because it's hard to get up every day and want to keep going. It is. It's hard to even find a reason sometimes.
She says a resource she's been thankful to find is the Fort Worth Hope Center. The food pantry makes sure everyone with a pet gets an extra bag of hope.
Because I'm a dog lover myself, and I'd hate to have to give up my dog because I couldn't feed it.
Terry's the pantry's warehouse manager. One thing that keeps her staff busy is the more than 7,000 pounds of pet food they're giving out every month. These big bags of kibble come from Don't Forget to Feed Me, the only social service agency in the DFW Metroplex focused solely on helping people with pet food.
The last couple of months we've been getting more in because we were running out every week to serve their food to the dog and skip their meal.
It's sometimes been a struggle for Trish to find food for herself. Knowing Shadow wouldn't also have to go hungry gave her hope for better days.
That's a wonderful organization, the Hope Center. Yeah, they helped me through some really rough times in my life.
But better days are ahead for Trish and Shadow. The day I met them, Trish had just been approved for housing assistance.
So we're going today to sign the lease and all bills paid, so I'm super excited. I've never lived in a place by myself, you know what I mean? It's a lot. You have a dog?
My dog.
You need one. Everybody does. Everybody, man. They're one thing that doesn't leave you.
Well, a lot of people have Barbie on the coming up. We have a special guest who's been collecting Barbie before collecting was cool. Stay with us.
Here is your check across the state. Lots of hundreds as we go throughout your Sunday. Only dodging it along the coastal bend, but it'll feel as high as 110 there. So nobody really escaping it as we go into your Monday. Slight chance of rain to the north. We have a front coming in. Not a big influence on the temperatures. Still very, very hot as we pull forward.
The strength of Texas is in its many voices and unique perspectives. Every Sunday, join host Carla Leal on In Focus Texas, and respectful discussion of the serious matters impacting Texas from experts across the state.
We take a closer look at the issues in your community.
In Focus Texas, Sunday mornings at 9:30 on Spectrum News 1, available on all your favorite devices.
So you're telling me this one-size-fits-all network upgrade is the best you guys can do?
Better than that. It's the only thing we do.
That's how we know it's right for you.
Aye, aye, aye.
Is that what I said?
No, I think you were okay. I think that's a yes.
We get it. Ask for the technology you need, and they call you unreasonable. We call you something else, our kind of client. So go ahead, be unreasonable.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
Little everyday conversations about the dangers of underage drinking can make a big difference in a child's life.
Today at Zilker Park, where folks from across the state of Texas are coming together for this.
At Spectrum News, we're committed to our communities around the clock, delivering stories that inspire and news that matters in your community. Our journalists are dedicated to bringing you trusted, balanced local news every day. And now, Spectrum Internet-only customers, you can watch Spectrum News 1 on your TV, connecting you to your community 24/7. Spectrum News, now streaming, exclusively for Spectrum customers.
So when you hear the name Barbie, what comes to mind? Well, girls from 8 to 80 will tell you it's that iconic doll that never goes out of style. As one Texas woman is about to show us, there are hundreds of reasons to love Barbie.
but not only that girl, but this girl and this girl. And that's just the beginning. Diana Harris's home was filled with nearly 500 Barbies.
Like 485 now in boxes throughout the house.
Diana's passion for Barbies started when she was a kid. She had a dozen or so.
And then you grow up and they got passed to my sister and she, destroyed them.
So what's a girl to do? You get older, then you buy back the ones like those your sister trashed, like these. And you don't stop there.
So in here I keep my small selection of vintage Barbies. This is Ricky actually, and Scooter, and original Ken, and Ken's friend Alan, and a brunette Barbie.
And the collection continues upstairs.
So this is it, the Barbie room.
The room where Diana keeps most her collection, more than 460 Barbies to be exact, from the well-heeled to the well-dressed.
So these are not for children. So they're porcelain, so and they have a weight to them. And they started in 2000, I believe, making these.
Barbie made her debut in 1959, and she was more than just another doll. For girls, it was a way to think outside the box.
Ruth Handler, the creator of Barbie, wanted a doll that a girl could implant and fantasize about what she would be when she grew up. Barbie was an astronaut before we ever actually had a female astronaut. So she was always cutting edge and ahead of her time.
There's also Beekeeper Barbie, Barbie the news anchor.
Just all kinds of professions that little girls can aspire to be.
And when you grow up, you can be a collector. Each Barbie in Diana's collection has her own story to tell. And when it comes to collecting, Diana says this is just the beginning.
Yeah, just the beginning, because we have a bunch of her Barbies here on set. Diana joins us with more on that. First of all, thanks for kind of what do we have here in front of us?
I kind of brought a selection of my collection, everything from new to old, stuff from the new movie, stuff that was referenced in the movie, so a little bit of everything.
And the new movie, when it came out, they have this new collection. It's kind of hard to find, right?
It is.
Different times. Yeah,
collectors have been scrambling, trying to pick one up here and one up there, and so yeah, it's been a challenge.
And so, we may have mentioned this earlier. How did you start collecting and why?
I always loved Barbies when I was a kid, so I had a bunch of them, and then I grew up, and then they got passed along to my sister, and she promptly destroyed them. She was not a Barbie lover. And then after college, I just decided that I wanted to start collecting again, and it was kind of it kind of was on QVC on TV, and yeah. It was something that everybody wanted to get back into again, and I had a little bit of disposable income. So yeah. I said, this is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
You have a whole room of Barbie. It's pink and all that. How many do you have total?
Right now I'm near 600.
Wow.
Yes, so in the whole house, because we've had to expand out of the Barbie room now.
So how do you keep expanding? When do you not run out of room?
Well, we will run out of room, and I like to have everything out, so I don't have anything put away. So I will never have them put away in boxes or anything. So I'll either have to trade them in and out, or I try to be selective with my purchases.
Yeah, and also too, you keep many of them in the box. You don't take them out, right?
Yes,
there's a reason.
I'm an in-box collector. Everybody's different in their collecting. A lot of people take them out of the box. A lot of people change them and dress them in different outfits. But I like the boxes. I'm a designer by profession, so I enjoy the design of the box as well as the doll.
And too, the value. I was told that sometimes the box is as valuable as the Barbie inside, right?
Like with all collecting, the box condition is always, adds value to the item.
Is there one Barbie out there that you want so badly that you haven't gotten yet or can't get?
There's a number of them, actually. You'd be surprised because Barbies are infinite, the amount of Barbies produced. You really have them all. So I still today see things on the internet that I've never seen before, and I add them to my list of wants. So
it's never ending. You're not going to stop.
No, it's never ending.
So what would you tell someone looking to collect? Because I know at least I've seen one of your Barbies that I think you bought for $100. It's worth $1,500 now. Do you have to have a bunch of money if you want to start a really cool Barbie collection? What would you tell people?
Absolutely not. There's so many different levels and so many different outlets. Obviously online. There's actually a lot of doll shows here in Texas that we go to in person, which is nice, and you get to be part of the community. You can do Playline, which is just what you find in your local stores.
So just all kinds of outlets.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining.
The decisions elected officials make really have an impact on all of us. A big part of what we do on Capitol Tonight is break down the issues so that they're easily understood. We want to bring you a better understanding of local issues and the local and informative way. Capitol Tonight, weeknights at 7 on Spectrum News 1.
They say the best things in life are free.
That's why Spectrum Mobile is giving you one free mobile line when you buy one unlimited line for $29.99.
Hey, so I can get 2 lines for the price of one? That's right, for just $29.99.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for $29.99 a month and get a second unlimited line free for 12 months with no contracts. Call 1-844-537-2999. Visit spectrum.com/getconnected or Spectrum store today.
It's the best deal in mobile.
Free mobile sounds good, but is the service reliable?
Absolutely. Spectrum Mobile is super reliable, coast to coast.
Okay, but what's the catch?
Is it contracts?
No contracts, no catch.
Get one line for $29.99 and the second line is free.
All with no taxes or hidden fees.
Whew. Man, I'm switching to Spectrum. You said
$29.99 a month and get a second unlimited line free for 12 months. Call 1-844